another very nice solution for filming in a pro way with iPhones and smartphones and so on. It's Mavis. Good morning to
Hello.
Patrick Holroyd.
That's me.
Just explain us everything, every secret about this product.
Explain every secret. Okay. So this is Mavis, and what we've tried to do with Mavis is bring all the features and controls that you would find on the large high-end cameras, ENG cameras, that kind of thing, to the iPhone. So we'll start off with the sort of basic controls. So on the left here we've got exposure, and on the right we've got focus, and these are always available, so you can very quickly change those that exposure or that focus. If we want, we can just drop it into automatic by tapping the little buttons on the bottom there. So that's now in auto. If I grab it, it's now back into manual. If I let go, it's now going to stick in that manual mode. If we look at the sort of main interface down the bottom, we've got a waveform monitor, and this is showing us intensity values within the image, so we can make sure parts of our image aren't overexposed. And on the left here, we've got a vector scope where we can see the color values in the image. So what we try and do is we try and then layer on top those professional features. So we can do things like focus peaking. So we're currently out of focus. As I refocus the image, you'll see that things start to sparkle green, and we get the more green is when that part of the image is in focus, so about there. And that's really handy on a really small screen to make sure that we're definitely in focus. We can also do things like false color, and again, this is just another way of showing exposure. Reds are being overexposed parts of the image, blues are underexposed parts of the image. So if I open it up there, you can see it all goes very red because we've massively overexposed the image. We've got zebras, and this is another way of seeing exposure, and this is the zebras will kick in over a certain threshold. I think this is set to 90%, so you can see when certain parts of the image are overexposed and fix those parts of the image. And we've also got guides on the viewfinder, and that allows us to set up. We can set up custom guides. So if we've got lower thirds, for example, we can make sure we leave space for those, or if we're in portrait, we can make sure we've got the right portrait mode. So we've got various other options, controls. So we've got things like manual shutter. We can go into the color menu and we can do manual color. So we can make sure our white balance is set correctly. And if we've got a grey card, we can set that with a grey card. And we've also got, this is the 7 Plus, so we have the ability to jump between the two cameras. And then if we go into the menus, we've got lots of other options. So we can do things like we can change the resolution, the recording format. So we can put it into 4K, 30 frames a second at 100 megabits, or we can drop it down to 1080, 120 frames a second. I'll leave it in 50 for now. This is the beta, and in the beta we've got a few updates coming out. So the first one is timecode, so we can now do timecode. So we've got time of day timecode, which we can have, and this will get put into the video files. When we go into our edit package, we can then see that timecode in our edit package, be that Final Cut or Premiere. We can also do offset timecode, and we can actually show either the duration or the timecode when we're recording. So as I said, this is the beta. We've got a few other new features. We've got presets, and what we can do with presets is that we can set the entire camera up. We can then save that state as a preset. We can then recall those presets. So if we want a preset for, say, Twitter, Facebook, we can then have store each one of those presets and recall them very quickly. And then finally, on the sort of changes for the interface, we've also got this, which is a function button, and this is a programmable button that you can set. So if I just go in there to set it, I can set it to say toggle the guides or force a color set, or I've got it actually set at the moment to play last recording. So if I go back here, push record a little bit of video, hit stop. When I push the function button, we now get that recording played back. Our final couple of things I'll show you are the audio menus. So we can we've got various levels of control for audio, so we can change the different microphones. If we're using the internal microphone in the iPhone, we can change the polar pattern on that. If we've got an external microphone, we can plug that in and we can bring that external microphone in, and if it allows for it, we can also change the external gain. Finally, the final thing I'll show you is the ability to have full screen. So what we can do is we can tap that button there, and now we remove a significant amount of the interface. We've still got the controls down the left and the information on the top, but it's a much cleaner interface, and that allows us to really see exactly what we're filming. So we can make sure that what we're looking at is exactly what we want to film.
Superb. Where can we find you?
Yep.
Are you cross-platform or not?
No, so Mavis is...
which are the prices and so on?
Mavis is an iOS app only. We're $16.99. We're available on the App Store now, and when the beta is released as a general release, general public release, you'll get that update for free.
Okay, will you be cross-platform soon or not?
We're not planning on bringing Android out in the short term just because of the fragmentation in the market, and we're doing the amount of processing required within Mavis is a very high-end processor-intensive app. Although we have recently just made it much more efficient, so you get much better battery life. But because of that, because of the hardware required for the app, it's very difficult for us to bring it to Android. So for the moment, we're very happy on iOS, and we're happy to bringing out lots of new features for iOS.
Thank you. We will find you at shotmavis.com.
Yep, you can check us out. Yep, so we're on the App Store, so you can download it on the App Store. Just search for Mavis, or you can go to shootmavis.com and you can find out lots more information.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.